I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Rolling on that strong. I can't do no wrong. Put it in a bomb. And I wrote this song.
Have you done shows, concerts?
No,
yet?
actually, to be honest, I haven't done any real like big shows or anything like that.
Are you planning to do any? Do you
yes,
have any in the works coming
Yes. I've been talking to a couple people. Not gonna really classify because it's not really set in stone yet.
Okay,
but
so
I'm going.
Details. Stay tuned.
But stay tuned because you will know. If you follow me, you'll definitely know.
And where can they follow you again?
The Real Mag, the Real_Mag on Instagram, and it should come up as Mag.
So yeah, my whole thing with the shows thing is I feel like there's some artists in the city, like, and not all artists, because there's a group of artists who get paid to do shows.
Yes.
Like they get paid up front. You know, they don't have to sell tickets or none of that. They get up front. And some of them, they're really dope. I can't say anybody is not deserving of it, because if you can get it, you can get it. You are deserving of that money. So, you know,
get your bag at the end of the day.
Get your bag. If you got the leverage to negotiate, you know,
like, don't do anything. Yeah. I mean, definitely, like, work with other people, but then don't underestimate yourself too. Get your bag at the end of the day, because
get your bag. But this is the thing, though. This is the thing. I feel like some artists, they get their bag to perform, and then they feel like I'm talking locally here. They feel like that makes them better than the rest.
No.
They make it. They kind of they walk around kind of almost with their nose in the air, like, hey, you know, kind of looking down on people, like, oh, I get paid for shows. So you might try to reach out to them maybe for a feature. You might try to reach out to, and they might just curb you, or they might give you an answer, a response that's like, I'm too big for that.
Or they'll just name the bag price, right? They'll just name the bag price. At the end of the day, get your bag. If you're just starting out, I wouldn't recommend charge it. Like, you obviously don't, like, charge what you want for a feature. Get your bag at the end of the day. But definitely also don't just be so diverse to the point where no one, like, wants to work with you. You know, you gotta definitely work with other people in order to make it in a music scene.
For sure.
You can, yeah, sure, you could pop off like Drake did. I mean, like, in Toronto, and just do it yourself. Like, just like, but you got to admit. Too,
I'm not even implying that he did it himself, because I'm sure there was so many people behind the scenes.
Probably a team behind that, for sure.
And he always talks about it, how he's a J Prince investment. You know, Lil Wayne came. You know what I mean? So there's all these people who are instrumental in him. But what I was just saying about the Drake thing was, like, he popped off to such a level where it was like, oh snap.
Yeah.
Where's he from? Oh, he's from Toronto. And then now everyone knows Toronto, you know? I just want people to know Vancouver like that.
Exactly. And I mean, he gave that Toronto that music scene, but also gave that USA passport too, if you think about it, right? I mean, it's Drake in Toronto, but it's Drake worldwide now, you know? Like, it's not just in Toronto. Definitely he's from Toronto. But I mean, let's talk more about, like, Vancouver and everything, right? We got a lot of artists popping off. We got Ness, we got Baby Lung, we've got, like, everybody's been popping off lately, and I've been noticing, like, a lot of consistency in their music, right? And that's just what the city needs. We need consistency in our music, because if we don't get consistent, it's like, it's not going to pop off as much as you want it to, right?
No doubt. Definitely consistency, you know, working together. Speaking of music, what are you working on? I know you got your Mag Mondays.
You got my Mag Mondays. To be honest, not gonna have, like, an EP dropping anytime soon. Just a lot of new singles. Gonna have consistent singles throughout the month. Gonna do it for the full year. Full year, 12 songs. You're gonna see them pretty much progress, and everything's gonna really work out. I already know this, and I got a team behind it too.
You feel 12 songs throughout the year is enough to grow your fan base and to keep that consistency?
Because I noticed one mistake I made in the past, right? And, like, this is just going back to when me and Eli were making music back in the day, right? We didn't have the knowledge. Another thing I want to say too is that we've learned a lot in 2018. Like, whether it's when we're making music, how to do certain things and how to tweak certain things in music, right? Like, we used to just pretty much record a flat recording and then just record a layer on that, and that would be it. But now there's just more to it, right? There's mixing, there's mastering, there's engineering, and he's probably one of the best, in my opinion, he's one of the best in the Lower Mainland for music engineering. And you definitely should hit him up if you really want to make a banger.
Shout out. Pretty high praise. Shout out to Eli.
Shout out to Eli.
E-World Music, you know what I mean? definitely that's dope that you said you learned a lot. Now you learned a lot, and you learned a lot, I guess, through I wouldn't say trial and error, because I don't want to call it like an error, but you learned a lot just through by doing, experience, by you're making music, you're in the studio, and then you kind of, I guess, kind of look back and be like, okay, this is the stuff that worked, this stuff didn't work, we should do, now let's do this, that, let's add this, let's maybe get a little bit more complex with or not complex, but a little bit more into the mixing and the mastering, and like recording multiple layers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just tweaking certain things too, right? Like just like reverb and everything. Just learning things, like learning music, right? That's, if you're gonna be a musician and you're gonna pop off in Vancouver, you definitely gotta know your lane, but you also gotta know your music and and what you're making when you make music, right? Why do you think your other artists, your favorite artists, sound the same? Why do you think your other artists are so consistent with the way they sound? It's because they got a team behind it. It's because they got people that are working with them to create that lane.
I'm glad you said that, because
Right.
I was about to ask anyways, because you mentioned it.
You can't do it by yourself. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, you can't do it exactly by yourself. You need a team. You need a team. You need a marketing team. You need a music team. You need engineers. You need people that are gonna pretty much push you to that edge where you're honestly gonna pop off. And that's one thing that I gotta say. Eli is done. I gotta say, Baby Lung's done. Got a lot of work with him. There's so many people, right, that have pushed me to the edge where I've discovered certain places in music that I don't even think I could get to. But that's
So you have a team?
I got a team. Got a great team. Dre FX, if you haven't heard of him, DeAndre Grant, hit him up. He's got great visuals. I mean, there's a lot of people.
Now, what do you say to some of these upcoming artists who, we're all, in my opinion, we're all upcoming artists. You can't tell me otherwise. I feel like everyone is kind of,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But what can you tell some of these upcoming artists? What's your, like, what do you say to some upcoming artists who they hear what you're saying, they agree with what you're saying, they're like, yeah, I need a team, but they might not have the funds and the resources to necessarily pay to, because like one thing I know about, like, rapping is rapping and singing is singing. Like,
talent is talent.
To me it doesn't cost me anything to write and to make music. But if I want to go record it, it's gonna cost to pay the engineer. If I want original beats, it might cost me to pay the beat maker. If I want artwork, visuals, graphics, it's gonna cost me.
You definitely need a bag to do it as well, right? Like, no one's gonna do anything for free. You got to remember that. No one's gonna do anything for free. But then you also got to remember too, like, you got to know your self-worth. Know your worth. Like, don't just say, like, oh, because I'm this kind of person, then I'm not gonna charge, right? Or this kind of person, I'm not gonna, like, I don't feel like I'm valued enough to save that price or whatever, right? Like, know your worth, get your bag at the end of the day, right? Be consistent and work with others. That's all you got to do. Reach out. If you don't got a team, reach out and make a team. That would be one of the big advice that I would say.
I like that.
Some of the best advice that I would say,
Yeah, reach out, I'm sure there's some, if you reach out, you never know, you can find some like-minded individuals or some people who are also kind of on that same path as you, because, again, no one likes to do things for free, and it's hard to get things done for free, but at the same time, if you're like a person who's just starting out, and you maybe reach out and you link up with a beat maker who's just starting out, or someone who's just starting out, maybe you guys can work something out. Or even
referrals too, right? Referrals from producer to producer. Like, if a certain producer doesn't know another producer, refer them to them and they can work together too, right? Maybe make you a banger at the end of the day. Just working together, right? What do you got there then? You got already a team going together, right? Because it's not just you and another person, it's another person as well. So that's already 3 people. That's considered a team. So right then and there, you got a team.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the use of social media in music?
Social media is definitely very big. I feel like social media has definitely created so many opportunities for artists. Like, back in the day, if you think about it, not a lot of artists had opportunity to promote or to really get their music out there. You really had to either sign. You really either had to know an artist enough that they were going to put you on, you know what I mean? So now with this, social media has definitely taken marketing to another level, and it's different now. It's consistency as well, like I was saying before. You need to be consistent with your posts. You got to be consistent with your marketing. Because if you're not, right, then they're just going to forget about you and they're going to go to the next person. And that's just the truth. That's just how it is, right?
Would you ever resort to any sort of like antics or sort of like, I don't want to say gimmick because that kind of gives a negative, but like, you know, any sort of antics or social media, like, you know what I mean? Like, would you ever use social media in a way that's like...
Like, you mean like 6ix9ine it? Like, just like...
Yeah, but like in the context that it's going to help, like, for marketing purposes. If, like, let's say you sat down with your team and maybe you guys had a single and you're like, oh, to get this single popping, maybe we can, like, you know, do some kind of stupid online or do some kind of outrageous video. Would you be open to something like that?
Me, like, honestly, like, I'm working with this guy, I'm working with a guy named Jay Scene. He's got he's got a company called Scenic Creations. So, I mean, he's a comedian at the end of the day, right? I mean, but I worked with, he's actually a manager of another guy that I'm working with, and popping off a single with too. One of the releases that's going to actually drop in the month.
So yeah, I know earlier you were saying how you don't really have any plans to drop any an EP or anything. You're just gonna drop the singles.
I don't feel like I'm at the point in my career right now where I can drop an EP, just because in the past, right, I haven't had that. In the past, I didn't have that much of a fan base, but I started building my fan base, and now I started seeing the results of dropping more music. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna drop an EP. I'm definitely gonna drop EPs. I'm definitely gonna, like, I mean, I dropped Full Moon back about a year ago, right, around May. So that was crazy. I remember that was the first EP I ever dropped. That went crazy, right? But I feel like it didn't market it. I didn't market it that well. So one thing I'm gonna say is that singles are gonna be dropping, and then after that year is over, then you're gonna see an EP, and then you're gonna see more albums dropping when the fan base starts rolling out.
Okay, so 2019.
When shows start popping off, you know, like, cause like, you can't really expect to make it if you're not doing shows, right? People gotta know what you're doing. Like, you're making music, yeah, but you're a performer too, right? You gotta create that atmosphere as well. So that's something you definitely gotta do.
So when I know you can't tell us like specific details because nothing's like in cement yet, but can you give the people like maybe like an estimation of when we'll see Meg on the stage performing?
I'd say maybe, honestly, from the schedule that I've seen, probably maybe May, maybe June, around there. And definitely not within this month or the next month, just because it's very tight scheduled. So, but then more music's definitely gonna drop, right? So you're definitely gonna see a better set. You want to see a better set, right? You want to see more consistency and more better music on the stage, right? Because what I dropped in the past, nothing compared to what I'm dropping next. Got a lot of different exposure that I'm about to set out for you guys. So you just wait.
That's dope. Have you been to many local shows?
Oh yeah. I actually went to one of G Kane's shows. I went to Nessa's show. That was crazy. I got to meet, my buddy Immortal. We were over there. We were just turning up on stage. Everyone was just vibing out, right? Those shows get hectic. I mean, all the time. They just get so rowdy all the time, right?
So, well, I know. The reason I asked because I know you said you like to study, and not just study like bigger artists and stuff. You like to study people in the local scene and stuff. So, being that you haven't performed yet, but you've been to some local shows, what are some of the things, some maybe even do's and don'ts that you've observed and learned from going to some of these local shows? Yeah, I mean, some of the things that I've learned at local shows, right? One thing you shouldn't do: stage dive. Don't stage dive if it's your first show, because more likely, I mean, you're gonna have that crowd that either doesn't know you. It's not that they don't respect your music or they don't respect what you're doing. It's just they don't know you, right? Like, maybe it's their first time going to their local show, right? Like, they don't know you, maybe, and you just can't do stage dives because, like, they don't expect it, right? Unless you're usually doing that, unless you're Tory jumping on out in the crowd off like a stage, you know what I mean? Don't stage dive. Another do and don't, right? Just go hard. Do your best. When you're on that stage, right? It's all you. So do your thing. If you're gonna just be silent about it, if you're just gonna think that you're not worth up or you're not put to the worth where you're actually
gonna rise up, then it's not gonna go anywhere. Definitely go hard, put your best effort into it, because at the end of the day, that's what they see. Right.
Okay. Well, that's pretty dope, yo.
And that's what I've taken whenever I've been to local shows, right? I feel like the artists that go the hardest definitely makes it the farthest.
That's a pretty cool, catchy slogan right
Yes,
there.
the
Right?
artists that go the hardest definitely make it the farthest. It's just a fact.
You might want to rhyme that, put that in.
Oh, definitely. Yo,
song, you know what I mean?
next maybe June. I'll drop a single in June. I'll put that in there.
So the next single that's coming out for Mag Mondays, has that already been recorded and ready to go?
Yes, we got Busted Down, right? That was recorded by Bamboy. So I've got him. He produced the whole track. We got that all done. I got to get the cover art for that. That's going to be dropping on March 4th. For the next track on April, I'm feeling like I'm kind of iffy because I got a lot of tracks, right? I'm just kind of deciding what I want to do. But I got a lot of tracks in the vault. Thinking I'm going to be dropping Playfair, produced by Remy Martin. Shouts out to him again. So there's that. And then, yeah, I'm not going to give too many details of all the singles coming their way, right? But all the titles and everything, because they're definitely going to see that as the months progress. But Busted Down's dropping March 4th, so that's going to be a banger. Crazy vibe. It wasn't even anything like jumped out with a bag. This is a totally different lane. It's not anything like Heartless. It's kind of got a mix of Heartless with Jumped Out with a Bag.
Okay. Well, I got a couple more questions for you here.
Yeah.
First, what are you? I know you said the weekend. You listen to. I take you listen to a lot of the weekend, but right now, currently, if I go through Mag's phone, Mag's playlist, Mag's streaming service, whatever you listen, what are you listening to right now?
Honestly, a lot of the new stuff that drops within the music industry, whether it's big time artists, whether it's small time artists, I look out for that, right? I download all the local music if I can, right? And I'll take a listen to it if I can. But it's mostly, I've been listening to a lot of Wide and W Melly. I've been listening to a lot of, back in the day I was listening to like 6ix9ine and like Trippie Redd, listening to a bunch of other artists. I can't really say like it's whatever's really popping off at the time or whatever's new and whatever's kind of quick on the playlist. That's what I'll play, right? Yeah, yeah.
And where do you, before we get you out of here, where do you see yourself, or where do you see your career going in like the next 5 years? What do you see?
The next 5 years, shows, more constant music, albums, not just singles, albums. Working with different people, maybe not just in Vancouver, working with different people in different areas like LA, everywhere pretty much, right? My goal is to definitely put Van City on, and my goal is to definitely make it out in Van City because that's where I'm from, that's the home, right? That's where I'm doing it. But also I want to work with other artists too, right? And get your name out there.
That's dope. That's
what you got to do.
Well, hey, why don't you remind the people one more time where they can find me?
You can find me on Instagram at @TheRealMag, _Mag. Doesn't really matter how you characterize it. It's not cap sensitive or nothing like that. So there's that. SoundCloud, Mag Music 98. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music as Mag. Just typed out Jumped Out with a Bag. You'll find it right away. I honestly think that's one of the best singles I've ever dropped. Out of all of the singles that I've dropped, Jumped Out with a Bag was definitely a banger, and I can't believe that it was produced by none other than the homie A-Trip. So definitely go check him out. He's a great producer, so you're going to see a lot of work with us coming this couple of months.
Okay, dope. Well, man, thank you so much for coming through.
And thank you for having me.
Of course, man.
Thank
This was a dope interview. You know
I like what you're doing. You definitely work with others, and you're definitely putting the city on, and I respect that. Because you don't see that a lot in other places. So this is definitely an icon right here.
Of course. Oh, thank you. An icon. Hey, man. Trying to be. But, hey, this has been another episode of Geezy Vision. Before I get out, just a quick little reminder. If you're trying to get fresh like me, you know what I'm saying? G-Town 604, you know what I mean? Gtown604.com is where you can get this apparel. You can't get the jacket I'm wearing because it's a custom one-of-one Big Puffer jacket. I mean, shout out to my dog's brother Jason. But yeah, if you want to get one of these t-shirts, you want to support the movement, just be down, be a part, be a G, you can get this Gtown604.com. Also, I need y'all to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I don't know if it's down here, I don't know if it's down there, I don't know where it is, but hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give us a like, drop a comment, let us know what you thought about the video. Let us know what you thought about Meg. You know what I mean? Go give my homie a follow. We'll have all the links and stuff in the description. And before I get out of here, go check out my new single, Strong, featuring the boy Dreamer. That's out right now, going crazy. You know, we rolling on that strong. I can do no wrong. Put it in a bong. Then I made this song. You know what it is. Until next time, this has been Geezy Vision for Young and Stupid. Shout out Reaper Films. Peace.